Second commission meeting to order. Commissioner Sutton, would you lead the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
First item on our agenda, we are to discuss the new building occupancy options. Don't everybody talk at once.
Morning, guys.
We're not talking, you guys are.
You have a spokesperson?
Oh, God.
So you'd like to go, you wouldn't like to go, or it doesn't matter? Just
Well,
an
you know,
option.
and I guess I'll speak up because Kent's not here, and he was one of them that was kind of spearheading this a little bit, but, you know, we just kind of put our heads together a little bit and talked about a few different things and thought maybe this would be a good idea for the downstairs folks to shuffle over there for a couple reasons. One, we're kind of, I won't say completely non-public, but, you know, we don't have a whole lot to do with the public like other offices do. You know, the basement folks pretty much work together. You know, my office and dispatch and IT and dispatch and stuff like that. Not that we don't function with other offices, but not like the treasurer's office and the auditor's office and, you know, things like that. So we just got a map and started, like I said, putting our heads together and came up with a little plan to make it look, you know, see what it looked like and see if it would work. And like I said, we think it's something that's probably doable. You know, parking is kind of limited over there a little bit, so we looked at, you know, is there going to be a whole lot of, besides the employees that would be there, just, you know, for public parking. And again, you know, we're not big public offices, so we could, my office talked about, you know, we could finally set up a full-time emergency operations center to be used a little more often than using the community room, things like that. So that's kind of where, like I said, our heads, you guys chime in if I missed anything. You know, we don't feel like there's some TLC that needs to happen over there, painting carpet, things like that. But other than that, you know, we don't anticipate a whole lot of construction. We think we can do a lot of it without, you know, remodeling the whole building and things like that, so.
So there wouldn't be, other than cleaning it up, basically, and getting it, isn't that much money we need to be, there's nothing in your budgets, the way I understand, for like dispatch moving stuff over there.
Talking, and Mark can speak up on Kent's behalf, but, you know, talking with Kent, you know, the councils and stuff can all be moved over there. I think Kent wants to add some councils, so now, you know, where that fits in his budget, I guess, I don't know if he's got that in, or if that's a next year type project.
Doesn't dispatch have to be in a secure place, though? Is that be secure enough?
That's more secure than it would be downstairs.
Is it?
You know, you got storms, they open up all the doors, you never know who would come in or what happened. That's just a secure area, a secure place, and to move it over would be pretty easy. I think Paul knows, told us about the lines over there, and then we do part of the councils, and we have still dispatch that have to keep running, of course. Yeah, and we'd have a couple running over there, one where we're at now, then gradually move over, but it should be an easy move.
So there'll be no loss for...
No.
Okay.
No, we can't.
No, that's what I was wondering.
We have fiber in place, so the building is connected already.
Is that the new fiber line, or is that...
That's a new one. No,
Oh, they put it in.
We bored the alley and put a new one in. So we actually put two in for the future. For IT, our biggest thing is we need a training center. With VDIs and Windows 10 coming on, we're going to have to do a lot of training for staff. So, you know, that was our big first look at it, was, wow, we've got an area we can build a training center and use it quite often. And it also, we would also double as a multimedia center for if you have WebExes or, you know, video conferences, that type of thing. So that was our big thing. But yeah, and then with dispatch needing to add two councils, the room that center area on the map, I mean, it's big enough they could put in 6 more if they needed to, without any remodeling. You know, the big thing for them is the carpet need to come out and they need a hard floor
But
you don't have
it's
chair
that-
runners
yeah.
everywhere, but other than that, the building's in good shape. I mean, it's actually configured quite well for what we need it for, and it already has a generator, which we have to have. So, there's a lot of pluses there, depending on what you guys want to do with it, what your plan is with it.
You know, and obviously there's gonna be some expense, I mean, you know, but we think that we can do that within pretty much our budgets. You know, we can do a little bit this year and then again some next year, depending on how fast we can get moved over there, but, you know, things like the EOC computers and stuff, we're switching over to the new system next year sometime.
Or later this year.
You know, and we can put some old computers in the EOCs, I mean, it wouldn't cost us, we just transfer over some of the stuff, you know. Like I said, I think it's a pretty good plan.
And one of the issues we have with the EOC is, you know, it's in the community room here, so we roll the toolbox out with all the laptops in it, fire them up, and then 4 hours later, when they're done doing updates, we can finally start doing
Well,
EOC stuff.
We've had that before where we had a missing person. We had everybody come down, we ran things through the ceiling, but then again, it's open, and we'd rather have it where we're just there because of what we have to do. And that would be a nice secure area for us.
The other thing we talked about was, you know, we could keep a few things over here, like our little radio room. You know, we could actually maybe set up a couple dispatch computers, and this could be their backup. Something would happen at either building.
That little room off of you.
Yeah, you know, under the steps, you know, since we've got quite, our siren equipment, stuff's all in there. You know, if we could keep that room, again, if we had to bug out and come over here, we would have equipment and stuff like that, you know, already pre-positioned over here to some extent.
Which we have to have a bug out plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's due, we need to get that done.
And that's the only thing that room is, could be used for, as far as I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a storage room,
It's
you
a
know,
storage room, right.
but again, I don't know that I'd want to completely disband it if we would move, you know, leave some of our radios and stuff in there for a bug out type of incident.
So then where's 24/7 going?
Well, I know we talked a little bit about Gary, you know,
They thought maybe the blue building would work for them across the
we
road.
thought maybe we could do something over there.
Got no
There'd be a lot of parking, and there would be, interrupt people. I mean, it's like we had at the sheriff's office, I had more complaints because people were driving all over, but I think we had it on the north side where we got plenty of area over there where they can park too. We probably would.
We'll stop being able to do his training over at the new building, that front training area they can use for 24/7.
We could set something up over there, I think. You know, I don't, obviously they wouldn't have the whole building, but,
They don't
you know, for a couple hours in the morning, a couple hours in the evening, I mean, you know, we could set up a desk in the training room, still keep it as a training room also. You know, I know the sheriff's office uses it once in a while for different trainings and stuff like that. So again, I'd hate to give it up completely as a training room, but it's not the most fabulous, luxurious one, but at least it works in a pinch. You know, if the community rooms are busy, things like that, so.
So if dispatch goes in that center area, that would be locked down? Then is it open to the public still?
No, the whole building will be locked down. It'll be buzzing at the door, like if a vendor comes in, they'll buzz in and they'll be escorted to the office.
So with an intercom camera?
Yep.
And then, is there still office space available? Do we have additional on top of what you're talking along the bottom here? Or is there people in need?
There would be a few, 3 or 4. I don't
Then we have
remember
the second
exactly.
floor, if we ever need
The whole
it.
second floor.
Yeah, we haven't done anything with the
Second
second floor.
floor left open, you know, which is 2
And then-
huge areas.
Yeah.
And then these 8 offices here, are those all open?
2, let's see, are those in the back? No.
Right here.
You got the yellow copies.
I think here.
Those are emergency management offices.
Kent wanted a couple extra rooms for dispatch to put in a locker room for his folks to be able to come in and, you know, and have
Oh, I
instead of just one.
Pretty well spoken for.
Okay, those would be
Well,
IT.
The one, there's an extra IT one we wouldn't need, you know, or 2.
Plus the, whatever you want to decide about GIS.
Yeah.
They work both buildings quite a bit, so that'd be could be another couple offices if you decide to have Scott stay.
The reason we had a GIS in there is because in an emergency, he's part of the EOC, and he does all the mapping for the dispatch center.
We knew that we're looking for somebody who could put it all in right away for us to cover this or whatever.
I think it sounds like a pretty good plan.
I like that
See a
plan
lot
when
of
I
area
saw it.
downstairs.
It opens the whole basement up except for the server room and that radio room for offices that deal with the public.
Yeah,
And there's an elevator and, you know, dispatch is a large area if you emptied it out.
Yeah.
and we do need space.
So are there any servers going into this building that's gonna have to have
No,
air
they'll all
conditioning
stay
rooms?
here, we're fiber connected, so, all our demarcs and everything are come to this building, so we leave that little server room the way it is.
Is there any concern moving IT over there as far as another location and getting back here where the bulk of the employees
You
that
know,
need
it's
service
closer
are?
than all the other offices we run to, like highway, landfill, fair, you know, so it's 2 blocks. With the work order system and with VDIs, I don't think it's gonna be a real issue. We'll sure accommodate when we need to come over here, that won't be a problem.
I think it's a good plan.
Me too.
My only other question is, well, concern, I guess, more, is if we bring those folks, we got what, welfare, planning and zoning, the folks that we had originally talked about putting here with the nice reception area and then being able to share staff and have some cost savings there, is just looking at the basement. And if we can do something similar here for those folks, so that we have a nice area where somebody can take calls with those single-person departments. That was one of the concerns when we had that building bought, that we would have a centralized clerical, secretarial person that could handle, you know, you got GIS going over there, but we had planning and zoning and
Welfare.
welfare and a couple others. So
We could probably
was
do
one-
that
one
down the
thing we'll have to
basement.
look at.
We can do that in the dispatch center with all the adjoining offices
Yeah,
to that.
lower down, yeah.
But a good plan.
So then your office downstairs is available for somebody to go in then if you...
Yeah, the only thing, like I said, that I'd like to keep would be the radio room across the hall below the steps, and then the option if we would need the community room for, you know, like a bug-out EOC or additional.
Because that's already wired.
You've always had priority for that?
Yeah.
Right, we've always said, you know, like I said, we just like to keep that, at least one half of it.
Is Blue Building already wired for, like, entry, and they'd have to do some tweaking over here for
I have
24/7?
fiber
or?
over there.
That's all over there already. I mean, it's not, you know, wired like the community room, but it has
Very minor.
door access.
What they need?
Yeah, it's got fob on it and everything already, so.
And we've actually got the back doors to the equipment, they're already secured if we need to. I mean, we can lock those doors, you know, and keep everybody in the meeting room if we had to.
Sure.
And that has a bathroom in it too, doesn't it?
Has a single stall bathroom, yes.
Was we thinking about doing something with veterans, and then they go down to Scott's office, would that be better? Instead of having to go through that security thing?
We could talk to them about it. They don't seem to think it's a problem. Last time,
If it's
talked
not,
to Aaron,
yeah.
he's staying where he is. Hasn't caused too many problems.
You know, the studio that we're,
Veterans come here, go down the elevator and be right there.
Yeah.
the studio we're in is pretty big. The studio and then my office are, it's a fairly big area in the basement also for,
I just thought
I mean, you
maybe
could
instead of
cube out
having to
a
go through
studio,
security
you
to
need
get
multiple
there.
offices in there. I mean, Judy, you have a bunch of cubicles anyway.
Oh, see what Aaron wants to do.
Yeah.
We just thought we'd throw it out. You know, like I said, if it's something that we want to do, we'd like to be able to use a little bit of this year's budget money to maybe start. Obviously, Judy would have to do some TLC work over there, you know.
Any guesstimate, are we talking 5, 10, 20,000 to do this plan? A rough estimate with the carpet, the paint, sounds like minimal wiring.
Most of the IT offices are good, other than maybe some touch up on the paint. The carpet's pretty good in that area.
You guys all got paint shirts?
Yeah, you got a paint gun, don't you?
Something with lights?
Judy and her meeting crew, yes.
And I'll have to get the, I'm just kind of waiting to see what you guys are going to do with the building, because you had said, do we give the generator up or, you know, sell it, or what do we do? So now I'll have to be checking to see what it's going to cost to get a gas line to it and get that all going. And that'll have to be changing out some parts inside the generator. I do not know what that cost is going to be. So
I'd like to see them moved in by the first year.
Yeah, you have to put a new hot water heater.
The generator, is that currently on propane?
It's
Yes.
not, yeah, but that's all disconnected.
I don't know what it'd take or what the city will allow. I mean, put in a propane tank over there. I mean, instead of, you know, switching
That's what I wondered.
switching everything over. I don't know, I don't know what ordinance.
Natural gas over there.
Well, the natural gas meter is as far from the
Yeah,
generator.
it's not that far.
That'd be an easy hookup.
Oh,
That'd be the best.
So
You
if
know,
you put
then you don't have to worry about filling the tank,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Right, that'd be the thing, but you're gonna have costs to switch the orifices on the
Right.
generator over,
That usually-
you know, and all that kind of stuff.
no, I think we're talking minimal, really, all the way. So the soonest you think you could be in there would be,
Well, and again, there's gonna have to be some stuff. The EOC area's got those bookcases in there we would want out of there. I mean, there's gonna have to be a little bit of deconstruction, or whatever you wanna call it, like I said, and then to get whoever in to do some painting and the TLC stuff, so.
I think we'd probably start with the training center as soon as possible.
that'd be good.
So we'll need to use that as soon as possible.
Because will that go there regardless?
Well, it's in the basement of the Millen building right now, and it's a really small area.
First priority, yeah, we need to figure out what to do with those folks so we can sell that.
So we can get the VDIs up and running and get everybody trained.
I'd like to see this and done soon.
Probably IT is the easiest move, and Scott would be the second easiest. And then dispatch is obviously going to be the most complicated.
And I'm thinking, where do you get your IT?
I didn't bring a map with me.
Here.
Kind of the
So
training.
basically, if it's this whole, yeah, if this whole front area here, that's been the newest remodel portion
Yeah, I don't
of
say
it.
it.
So there's probably not much to do in that area
Even the
besides
carpet
lights.
looks good there.
And the carpet is good there.
So fill that up, start filling
So
that
that
up.
could be something that we could do. I know in the kitchen has paper on it. And I'm even thinking that conference room, because that conference room is here.
And that's in good shape.
And that's in really good shape.
You have to do all that expensive lighting though?
Well, I can see it to retrofit, but there's a lot of lights that have issues over there.
There's a lot of
Common
can
and
lights where they
everything
can
else.
put
And
bulbs
There's
in, too,
can
over
lines
there.
up here that we can just switch out to bulbs.
Bulbs.
But we don't have to, at this point in time, put the updated lighting. That's a project that being we just bought the building. Do they give you X amount of years to convert that building?
Yeah, I mean, I'd want to get it, I don't have it in the budget for next year, so I'd have to put it in the budget for the following year to do lights.
Is that what the generator cost, is $68,000? There's some notes on here.
So what?
It says in June of 2010, the generator's $68,000. Is that what it cost? What are these notes?
That's how much it cost them, that's not my notes, that's what it cost them to put it in.
Okay.
And then in 2010, they did the exterior of the bricking, that was for $273,000.
So a lot of the expenses, but there's
So it's
been a
not
lot
that
of
old
expense
then,
done
is
too.
it?
No.
Yeah, no, it's not that old. No.
Well,
I
we
think the
bought it.
oldest thing in there is probably the air conditioning units on top of the roof and the hot water heater, which is a 1982.
Which is extra 5 years to do, I'm sure they have a lease.
Well, we bought it to free up space here, so the sooner we make a decision, the sooner we can get moving. I'm all for it.
Yeah. Before we wait, that you presented it now. Are we gonna need a motion for this? Do we need a motion to move this
I think we
over?
should wait 1 week and do it next week, just to make sure we...
What are you thinking that's gonna take a week to understand?
Well, if we're gonna do this completely, or if we're gonna add more people, I guess my only hesitation is just the reason we bought it, we're not using it for that reason anymore. We originally were gonna add some, and so I think the next tier of folks, we gotta figure out what we're doing with them before we go ahead and move all of our basement over. So I don't think it hurts to wait 1 week.
So do we need to have a map and show who's going downstairs and how it's going to be designed downstairs? If we take this and move there, where you putting welfare, Scott Bader, Can we see something along that line so we kind of see where everybody's going to go
Yeah,
downstairs?
definitely, I mean, certainly.
If we can get it projected,
I think there's-
nothing that you have to
Yeah,
be held to.
there's various options, but yeah, we can certainly put something together and for next week.
Because we know what'll open up, that we can just...
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice to be able to see that part of it, where the second part of it's gonna go, rather than just focus on this. I kinda wanna see where everybody's gonna end up in our building right
Yeah.
now, is what I'd kinda like to see, but...
Maybe you need to walk down through the basement and get an idea of where the offices are
Basement gonna be
and the
full.
area, and then it'll be more clear in your mind that, oh, hey, we got a lot of space now.
And you gotta keep an open mind too, that you're probably gonna be changing that plan around, like we did with this one, you know. Because what looks convenient to you and I may not work out well with those departments, that they need to
So,
redo their areas.
Do you like the idea of GIS moving or not? So we know what if we can put someone in that office or not.
Seems like it'd be a good fit for me, you know, with the way it
With the
sounds.
needs.
As much as he...
Well, then,
If
yeah,
the
let's figure out
way you go with
something
some of that stuff, you're gonna be coming and doing business back and forth, just like the IT department, you know, things like that. Even our office, we're gonna have, I mean, we still gonna have to function somewhat with the auditor's office and stuff like that, I mean.
Will there be added expense to bring the departments into these? Because they're designed for dispatch, and they're designed for your offices. If you bring welfare and planning and zoning down there, are they gonna have some...
I guess I don't know if I can...
That's the thing I'm wondering about is, you know, you've got a second part of this, so if you bring these down there and you've got dispatch, well, you probably don't need to put planning and zoning in this big area dispatch. Are we gonna have to redesign some of that area to get our benefit of the most space out of it, is what my question was.
There's like 7 offices in dispatch besides the floor back in there.
Yeah. You know, maybe Gary can take those department
We can-
heads down
we can
there
work
and
on
take a
that
look
this
at it
weekend,
before he
or this week.
takes the rest of
I
us,
mean, I
or...
think between your
To give you
office
some options.
Yeah.
and my office...
Let
there
them-
isn't
if
anything
they're
to
working
look
I
at.
mean, the
they'll know.
connections shouldn't be that much difference,
No.
because there's already connections to those offices.
Oh, yeah, they're
so-
networked quite well.
So there's not gonna be a lot in that regard, but we can definitely work up some options for
It was
it.
the investigator.
I remember the community health room.
It was the community health room, when they moved out, we moved down there with all the investigators.
Mm-hmm. And it's dispatch.
So it's, yeah, and then we moved out and then dispatch.
Yeah.
So can we do that for next week, and then we'll discuss further next week?
And again, I can't imagine, we can sure help Gary, you know, let him come and look and stuff like that. I can't imagine, I mean, you look at Scott Bader's office, he's got an office with some stuff. You know, does he need a window in? I don't know. You know, sure, I'd love a window, but, same with welfare. I mean, they're 2 offices. I don't know what more they would need besides, you know.
Do you still provide space for the DCI, or? Yeah. Just how many offices?
4.
One thing to keep in mind on, if we would go with this plan and move over there, is the key to not having to fob everything is not having public over there, you know, any more than escorted public. So if we put an office in that the public goes in and out of, then that changes the security plan a lot with dispatch, because the public can't get in there just like they can't get in the courtroom.
Well, and that was my question, because we've made the reception area a common break area, so if somebody comes to that front door, who would be in charge of watching
They'll
and
pick up a phone and push whatever office.
they would dial the
They
individual
just hit a
office?
button if they're going to, and they talk to Scott or IT or
And then that person
communications,
comes over
and
and
they
lets
come over
them
and
in.
escort them in. That way we'd only have to secure the 2 outside doors with fobs and nothing else inside, which is a huge change in expense.
Mhm.
And then the bulk of the cameras we need over there, we can take out of the Millen building. So we really don't even have to buy cameras or camera licenses either. So that one's covered inside and out.
Do we need any projection for what's gonna happen in the blue building for 24/7, if you're gonna set up some type of,
We'll move the cameras at 24/7.
yeah, but I mean, as far as design, I mean, you're not gonna just let them walk in and have that whole area, you're gonna put up a wall, or is there gonna be something done there,
I was
or
thinking they could use that.
what are your thoughts?
I don't know,
Reception
I mean, we could put up some, like I said, a desk on the one end by the bathroom janitor room or something, and, you know, they could come in and, like I said, we can secure the back areas, that's not an issue.
Most of them are just in and out anyway, aren't they?
I got some ideas for that, where they go in, they blow hot, they tell them to sit, about half the time they run.
Yep, then we could have them
Have them confined.
Because then we're out looking for a person that's got an active warrant.
Don't have very far to go to check themselves into jail.
Yeah.
We can talk about
Yeah, that'd be another option.
I mean, just putting up a
Just
I
out of
think we have a
curiosity,
good
is
option.
there a
It's
little
just like you
extra
were
room
gonna-
there if we wanted to put 1 or 2 additional offices and put
Oh, yeah.
the fob right where the reception area is and down that hall? Can we lock that part off?
We'd have to put doors in. Those halls are open all the way through, so.
So it'd be a door and a fob there. I just really like the setup of that entryway, and I had it in my mind that was gonna be a good spot for our central save on FTE there.
Well, one of the reasons we put the break room there was, one, it had some windows, so people could like see sun, you know, that are in the basement. And we had an actual break room away from the dispatch center there every day, you know, 8 to 5 sit in the same chair, and they could go out, have some lunch, see the sun, like I said, be away from the noise, you know.
Thing down there, they don't see anything for their 10-hour shift except the same yellow wall.
I got no time to read that.
Smaller ones. Yeah.
That's the part for the morale.
Kind of a morale issue.
How they,
9, 6 by, yeah, I can't read that.
Okay.
But you got some ideas for
yeah, so
downstairs?
8 by 12 maybe. So anyway. I think that's why reality is probably more like 2 than 3.
so next week.
There's nothing else.
Put it on the agenda for next week.
Sounds
Next week,
good.
Thank you,
you'll
guys.
get us some information for the
Yeah,
basement.
yeah, I'll give you
Thanks,
some
everybody.
options.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Already late, you can see a little better than the black and white.
Next item on our agenda is the Gary Vetter with the HR policy manual discussion.
A few weeks ago, we talked about we needed to come up with some kind of consistent method of keeping track of how departments are putting in the holidays for the part-timers, and so I gave you one of those options. I guess it just depends on what direction you want to go with that for the under 20 hours people.
I think the verbiage you sent out yesterday works for me. It sounds like as long as we follow the policy and make sure all departments are doing it the same, I think it works.
What was your verbiage yesterday? Do you have that?
That was, yeah, that was Ram's
Right here.
thing.
So if I'm seasonal, I work under 20, I don't get any holiday pay. If I'm a regular part-time and it's over 20, if it's 20 to 30, then I do. I get the 4 hours if it falls on a holiday. 4 hours,
Right.
not 8.
Not 2, not 3, we've had pretty much anything and everything through the years.
And E13 is struck out, right?
E12, yeah.
E12?
E12 would replace E13.
Yeah.
Which is that
Right.
description.
Makes sense to me, we just gotta make sure everybody's
Well,
consistent.
Yeah.
okay, so you need a motion? I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by Hanson, second by Sutton to revise the policy manual, removing E13 and adding E12. Is everybody clear on what that reads?
E13 is what emergency.
I'm sorry, what's
12? This is E12.
E13.
No, that's just...
Well, 13, okay, that's where I got that from.
Yeah, this is E13.
Okay,
Under
E12.
20 hours.
E12.
So you're revising E12?
E12,
If it's over 20, which is your half time, then you do get 4 hours.
So C2 is, just so I'm reading that right, C2
No holiday pay.
is no holiday pay, right? No benefit.
How do they make up their hours if they're scheduled to work Monday through Friday?
they just lose their hour, and they work Monday through Friday, 52 weeks a year. And there's a holiday, they just lose their time.
They would unless, do any of them just come in on a holiday if they choose to?
Why
Or
would
does
they
that
want...
never happen?
No, like Judy's part-timers don't come in on the holiday.
So they just would lose the
If
hours.
you're under 20, yeah.
But they've been getting holiday pay?
Some have,
She's
some
been giving them
haven't.
part-time, not even a
Whatever,
half, but
how I do it is...
2 or 3
I
hours.
classify my guys, they're permanent part-time because they work every day. And, so it was whatever hours they work, I would give them that for their holiday pay. But I wasn't, I mean, we're not, how do I say that? They're permanent part-time people, but you guys have me keep them under the 20 hours a week so they don't get, so that's not their fault that they're, you know, I have guys that, you know, they're putting 3.5 hours in every night, you know, so it's like, I just want,
They work every day.
they work every day, and that's my thing, they work every day. They're basically permanent part-time. They're not somebody that comes in and works 6 months out of the year.
So they're working 3.5 hours a day, so they're basically short a couple hours of that 20 in a week's time.
Correct, but if we put them up to 20 or over, then you can offer them the other benefits. And that's why
So
you keep
is
them
the
under.
fix to it to change the permanent part-time to 18 hours?
They'd
I
still
mean-
lose hours.
They would lose their hours.
Well, they would, I mean, if we allowed them to have holiday pay, I guess is what I'm saying. If you're requesting these people to be a scheduled 3.5 hours, now the other option is you can schedule 4 hours and they'll be over 20 and we gotta pay them the benefits. I mean, where do you go with that? I mean, you can play both sides of this.
Correct, but that's why, you know, I was doing what long time ago, I mean, I did this for years, this is how we did the
Yeah,
pay.
which has never
Which-
been in the policy. And that's the thing, and there's just looking for consistency one way or the other. It's just, well, we always did it that way, and that's never been in there.
The reason they always did it that way is because former commissions saw that the employees weren't being treated fairly. And as scattered and sporadic as the union contract was, it never got changed in the union contract because the people talking and negotiating the union didn't understand the employees.
At one time, in the union contract, it even said prorated.
Prorated,
We
yeah.
had to prorate our people, and that's how I prorated it for whatever hours they worked. My people worked, I gave them that.
I agree with what Judy was doing. There's a difference between working 20 hours less and just being part-time and showing up sporadically. But when you've got part-time that are on a set schedule, I believe they're a
Work
little
every day.
different people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
how to treat that is where we're at. I guess that's the question I have, is what,
And that's what I agree, you know, they're permanent part-time, and
Why don't you just raise their wages?
I guess, looking for suggestions on, you know, if we change the policy, we need to make it right for,
Well,
and follow it. That's what
The
we
other
have to do.
option to make it simple is you just give them 4 hours on the holiday regardless of who it is. That'd be, at least it'd be the
Well,
same
if
and,
this is such
but-
a, I mean, I don't understand the problem of not entering the correct hours of holiday pay for these people in Sundial. How could that be so tough?
I think the bigger problem is we aren't following our policy manual. We're trying to jive it, isn't it?
well, that's part of it, but part of it is too, is there's no consistency between the departments of what they're putting in there. Every one of them's doing something different.
So then, if you have permanent part-time that are on a set schedule, holiday pay is 4 hours and done?
that's your guys' call, or...
But they have to
or-
have
I
a
mean, I
set
can put it
schedule. I
in.
mean, that's not for anybody working under 20 hours. If you work under 20 hours, don't have a set schedule, you have 0.
they're scheduled for 19 and a half hours, so they don't hit the 20 for the state retirement. If you start giving them the 4 hours holiday, they're going to hit the 20 hours in that pay period.
You can't have it both ways.
Some of them don't even get, John doesn't even hardly put 13 in.
But if he's the one that I moved to the building, he's gonna have to put more hours.
So it just depends. They're all, it's not just all the same.
And I know there's
Make
a,
them 20.
There's mud, huh?
and I know
Make 'em
there's
20,
a
they'll all be
difference
on state
between
retirement.
somebody
It'd
working,
probably be, at least it'll all be consistent.
and I know it's different than working, like you have somebody that just works, like, and I don't know for Kurt's guys, like they just work the seasonal portion of it, you know? His part-time people, you know, there's a difference in that too.
I mean, I think the ones that are scheduled to work, the ones that should get it.
Because that
Seasonal
will
are
be,
scheduled to
that'll
work
be
for
the
6
argument, is even
What's
on a
that?
seasonal, they
Their
work every day in the
seasonal people
season.
are scheduled to work in the construction season. So why should they lose holiday pay because they're seasonal?
Well, if they don't work over Christmas time, why should they get Christmas pay?
Well, they wouldn't get Christmas pay, it's just the weeks they work. Tom.
Yeah, that's what I meant, the weeks they work.
Like 4th of
Fourth of
July.
July.
But you're taking them all away.
No, I've never said I was for this.
Oh, well, the new policy.
Dirk's guys work less than 20 hours a week for part-time seasonal.
No, the seasonal ones work 40 hours a week generally, except for the mower, some of the mowing. I mean, that's the problem, is there's a lot of different
Those
variations.
seasonal guys that work
of-
40 hours, they get South Dakota retirement?
No.
No, because they're
Isn't there
seasonal.
something that they have to
They have-
regularly be over the 20? Is it a
they
big deal
can't
when they
work
go
over
over the
6
20
months.
That's,
just
that's
because
the
of this?
difference of who they are, is if they're regular part-time status or just part-time.
So how many people are we talking
So we
about?
wouldn't say bumping under retirement just because it happens
Judy
once a
probably,
year.
Judy
How many
and Dirk
people are
probably
you
had the
doing
most,
this
huh?
I don't know how many other part-time people are seasonal
No, just
people.
your office. How many? 19 or
I have, let me see, it's John and
3.
total of, yeah, 3.
Landfill has some.
But all the other departments have them too, so I don't know how many actually.
Landfill's not a
How many do you
regular-
have?
But if you're a regular part-time employee...
I just
you
have
oversee
Logan
half that
for the
holiday
6 hours
pay,
a week,
so
and he does
they're
the-
gonna get
So
paid.
That's
holiday
the 20,
pay.
regular part-time. is
So we have-
Because he's
30
not
hours.
regular.
That-
I mean,
who else, how many total
I don't
does
know.
people does
You'd
this
have to ask
cover?
HR.
But it's not.
How many total people are we talking about?
I'm not sure off the top.
If Max has one, Judy
I
has
don't
3.
A couple at the fairgrounds, there's all the 24/7 people, there's, that's 13, 14 people. You have your weed and pest guy, seasonal guy, you
Well,
have...
seasonal guys that are working their 40 hours during those 6 months, they should get the holiday pay.
They do.
They do, for those,
I mean, now they do.
the holidays that they have while they're working, yeah. Anybody that was scheduled to
I'd
work-
like to know the
anybody that was
number of
scheduled to
people
work
this
should
is
get it.
affecting, I guess is my question.
Well, then next Monday's the holiday again, so
gotta
that's
know,
why Doug
huh?
was trying to get this done today.
Then we have people that are scheduled to
You always
work,
have your time.
scheduled to work 4 days a week, if the holiday comes on Friday, and they get paid.
You have to address the issue before it keeps going, I mean...
Aye, aye, aye.
Because we're going into November, so.
Holidays are coming.
Holidays are coming.
So when you prorated the holiday pay, suppose somebody worked 15 hours that week, how are you prorating his holiday
He's
then?
scheduled for 3.5 hours, so then he would get the 3.5. Like Dick, Dick works Monday through Thursday. So if it's on a holiday, he would get 5 hours. If it's on a Thursday, he would get 4 hours. That's how I,
How about on Friday?
he doesn't work on Friday.
So he doesn't
wouldn't-
get any
So he
holiday
doesn't get
pay?
a holiday pay,
Okay.
no. It's the days that he works.
Okay.
Maybe we should
That makes
schedule for
sense.
non-holidays.
And what are we talking, probably 6 total holidays for the year? That
Well,
would
then
probably
more
fall
than
in that
that.
category?
Oh,
There's 10.
Well, for
plus
his-
your-
Well, but I mean, they're not all gonna fall on that
There's 10.
person's time frame, because
Well, if, right.
So,
Yeah.
you know, that's the other thing you gotta look at, there's, the problem you have is the record keeping is, if you're gonna go Sundial and you're going to Ram, and all of a sudden one guy gets 3.5 holiday, and this week he gets 4 hours holiday, and this guy gets 5-hour holidays, it's a moving target for that particular setup.
Why? They're just plugging the hours in that HR gives them.
Yeah, they process whatever we send.
Whatever Sundial gives them, whatever they put into the system. If you want them to put in whatever you want, that's
No,
fine.
we
but-
gotta be consistent among the departments. You can't have, that's not right. Having one department allowing it and one doesn't.
Well, yeah, I think you gotta
They
set
all
something.
allowed it before they were told not to a month ago.
No, that's not true.
Some were not.
Some were not.
Yeah.
So do we have a problem if we just keep it like it was with the retirement and being over 20 hours? Or is that when it's consistently over the 20 hours, then you have to offer them retirement? If it happens only a couple times a year, are we still in trouble with that benefit part?
I'd be careful.
Okay, so you can't go over it all, ever. Is that right?
You'd have to ask the state retirement that. We try not to.
We try not to. Because what we're saying is they would still be falling within that under 20s, but they're being bumped up for non-working hours because of this.
I think you still get.
Think?
you get the-
Okay.
Enough things.
Well, then maybe you give it to them up to 20. Cut it off at 20. If they're at 18, they get 2. If they're at 17, they get 3. If
2.5.
max it up to,
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Max it up to right under
Give
the
them
cut.
whatever benefit we can give them, and then, because our hands are tied with state retirement, we don't go over 20. Can we do that? Can the formula and Sundial be written that way to cut off at 20?
Yeah, probably.
Why do you have to have a formula? I mean, if
Because
the
we have to have
department head is
consistency. You're all
responsible
Yeah,
for
they're
the
responsible
employee's
for putting
hours,
it in, so.
they put it in.
Sure, but I just assume that's probably how RAM does it, or... that they
RAM
have
just
some
takes
form of-
what's in
Right.
Sundial.
So we'll let them take care
We
of
just
it.
have to make sure every department is doing it the same.
Correct.
So then, like if you have somebody in 8.5 hours, you can give them an hour and a half bonus. Is that right? The way you're saying it?
No, they would get the
What?
full, they would get the 4. Everybody gets the 4 as long as they're not going over 20 hours. If they get to the 20, then that cuts them off, or 19 and a half, whatever the, what is the language? You can't be over 19 and a half. So if you're at, in your example, 8 hours, you'd be at 12, because you didn't go over your 20, so you get your full 4 hours. But if you're at 18, you only get 1.5, because pursuant to state retirement, we
That's what I
can't
was
go
wondering.
over. So we'll give you everything we can give you.
So the cap is 19.5 regardless.
Yep.
Yeah.
Up to the department head, then if they work 17 hours that week, they can have 2.5 hours. If they work 16 hours that week, they get 3.5 hours.
Kind of how we're doing it now.
Yeah, and it's
Okay, then we
like,
just need to fix
But I don't
language
think the
to say it.
policy states that very clearly.
no.
It got changed throughout the
Does
years.
that make
If
sense?
you read the old union contract, it says in there
Whatever you guys
prorated.
want to do.
to the hours,
we don't
whatever
care.
they were
We just
working.
want
Because
to
we had-
confirm.
Well, those
that.
We hate to punish those guys, they're the ones that...
But Judy, at times, they do go over 20 now at times.
Yes, like if I have to use my part-time people to help me with voting and that kind of stuff, yes, you can go over, it just can't be consistent. It can't be
Oh,
like-
well, that
it can't
answers
be
the
like-
question.
It can't be like every week.
I was
Well,
told I
somebody-
do get dinged on that, now it's...
My suggestion would be somebody find out an answer to that for state retirement.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because if there's a certain amount of times a year you can go over, maybe somebody proposes a policy change to do it like we're doing it now, but actually have it written in policy, so we're following policy. I mean, there's, it sounds to me like there's some
Just give everybody
questions yet.
4.
Can we call South Dakota Retirement and get an answer
Sure.
today? Like now?
Do you have a contact with them? Maybe you can do that and we'll go
Let's do
through
it
your
now.
stuff.
Yeah.
Since we got a holiday coming up next Monday, let's make the
Give everybody
decision.
4 and be done with it.
If we can get away with that, I think we'll go back to that and do the prorata thing. And do we want to do some of this, or we want to wait to see if he gets a hold of somebody? Or
Go ahead and
Do math
do
or-
your other stuff.
same action, whatever.
Minutes from the September 25th general?
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Gifley, to approve general meeting minutes from September 25th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claims and payroll?
Second.
Moved by Gifley, second by Sutton, to approve claims and payroll. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
HR report?
I have one question in there. So if our HR assistant is going from the part-time we were just talking about under 20 to permanent part-time, like we talked about last week, are we kind of defeating the purpose of some of the cost savings? I understand there's more hours right now, but can we put an end date on when that permanent, because that can go up to 30 hours, right? What we're moving in the HR report. That position is going from cutting off at 19 and a half to up to 30, is that right? So are we defeating the purpose of the cost savings we originally talked about? And I'm fine with it for a while we get things figured out, but do we put an end date on it now? Because otherwise, we never seem to go back down on those employees once we increase it.
Have it stop the end of the
End
year.
of the year, that's what I was thinking, till things
That
get
would-
under control.
that would give her 3 months to kind of get things
I would
organized.
be fine with that. I just didn't know if everybody else.
I agree.
Put an end date on it.
Because if we keep it that way, then it grows to another full-time, and then it's like we have no cost savings. What was the reason we went to RAM?
Yeah.
So I guess I would motion to approve the HR report with the amendment that that position can be increased to that permanent part-time through December 31st.
Well, okay, what's your how many hours does Patty work?
19 and a half currently is the max.
Yeah.
But she's been going over consistently.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we are upping it, but I don't want it upped forever, because
Okay.
then we defeat the purpose of why we contracted to do payroll out of house.
So by upping it for 3 months, are we,
See, okay, the way the sheriff's office does it, when they have a part-time person, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Gary, when they have a part-time person working over the 20 hours, and they hit
19
the
and a half or 20?
20, and they hit the 6-month period, then they're changed from part-time to regular part-time, because the regular part-time just means now they're eligible for state retirement benefit.
Right.
That's the only difference in the name of part-time and regular part-time, just so their wage doesn't change, nothing changes.
It's automatic though, 6 months automatic, to get into the benefits?
It has to be approved by the commission to put them on state retirement. But, don't a lot of the 24/7s work 20 hours a week?
I don't know that.
So that's been the issue, yeah. Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
So getting back to the HR report, so you just wanted to put an end to the month on it.
Yeah.
Is that giving you sufficient time, do you think? End
We
of the
can always
year?
extend it, I suppose, if we have to, but at this point,
Because I was just trying to think how we've done with some others with part-time, should, you know, if we should give
No, I
them the
think
same length. That's enough, okay.
When will she hit her 6 months, Gary?
It was May,
November?
November.
November something?
So,
after 6 months, does that come back to us automatic anyway, if she's been going over?
We can talk to them.
Okay, why don't we just delete that part of it then?
Or leave it and let him make a correction next week.
triggers state retirement.
You can, I mean, yeah, you can leave it as is, and I've already told her that we had talked about revisiting at the beginning of the year, so.
Might just put in the hours to be
Bring it up
determined
at that time, whenever
at
that.
a later commission, or just put something vague in there, like, rather than put a set date, put the hours to be determined by a commission.
I'd keep it simple.
Well, I just don't want a leader to believe it's gonna be a permanent 30 hours a week when that was never the intent. So if she's clear on that, I guess.
Yeah, we'll just
Just leave it then,
I think
as
it's
is.
fine what it is for now.
Do you want to add something in there to be determined by the commission later date?
Yeah, that would be fine. Put something so that it's documented.
Just add it.
So you're not really changing it, just leave it alone?
No, I meant,
We're changing it to 30, but
Approve it with that addition, then we'll revisit.
She's going from part-time benefit specialist to regular part-time, effective October 7th.
to be reevaluated December 31st, or the
That's
first
fine,
meeting
yeah.
after
Yeah,
the
that
year.
works.
that'll be good.
Just so that we know it isn't forever. We just want to make sure that that little clause is in there that
To be reviewed, December 31st? Or
The only thing that's
December
forever is the
26th,
uncertainty
say
of
that's the
policy
last
manual.
meeting, right?
26th.
And have you
December 26th.
decided that that's when you want to meet, December 26th for sure?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You're meeting that Wednesday?
Is that the thought of everybody?
Probably.
Because I was asked for last minute plats, if that was gonna for sure be the date that you were going
I
with.
think that's what we
Usually do.
determined, it was gonna be on the 26th, correct?
Sounds good.
So that'd be my motion.
Tom had made the motion.
Oh, I'll second it then. Or did we get a second?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay.
What is the motion?
We have a motion to approve the HR report with the addendum to be, the transfer Patty Marshall to be revisited by the commission on December 26th. That is our motion by Tom. We have a second by Kipley.
Say that again?
We have transfer Patty Marshall from part-time benefit specialist to regular part-time effective October 7th to be determined by the commission on December 26th.
Reviewed by the commission.
Yeah, reviewed or...
So does she get state retirement now?
Sounds like she does,
Yes, sounds like she will.
for 3 months. That's the way I'm
Yeah,
understanding
but
it. She goes up.
Doesn't the 6 months fall into that? She hasn't been
Yeah,
here.
6 months, but if
So she hasn't been there the 6 months. So she would not get state retirement.
So then if in November she hits the 6 months, then she'll go on top of the retirement for a month,
Yeah.
and then we'll review it on the 26th. Maybe we want to review it in November and see how it's going.
Probably good call.
Whatever her start date is, determine when 6 months is, that's when we review. So we don't have to enroll her in state retirement.
Do we know exactly her start date?
I'll check.
It's right in there, start 6
Yeah,
months.
just put the start date.
So
Now, is that part of your motion, Tom?
They'd be fine with that as well.
we have an amendment to the amendment.
Well, I'm not gonna put all that in.
Costs too much. To be determined by
To be-
commission meeting in November.
Yeah.
Reviewed by commission meeting in November instead of December.
Based on whatever her start date was.
Not that far away.
No.
I don't know if that's just maybe the 16th,
Couple payrolls
26th,
in.
until her
Yeah.
start date.
Play it
is.
on
We'll
couple
have to
moves.
figure with that. I would just say to be reviewed by the commission in November, and we'll know the start date if we...
Why don't you
got-
just say, review on her 6-month anniversary?
Bingo.
Then you don't have to say anything about
Okay.
changing from part-time to regular part-time.
So now I believe we can vote. All in favor of the amendment, to the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, authorized advertising ordinance 181002 480, it's the South Dakota DOT rezone. I think you
That's
got a
this
copy
one?
of this. Yep.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kipley, to set hearing date for ordinance 18-10-02/480, South Dakota Department rezone. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I put the United Way packet back in because I didn't sure if you had all seen it. So, because I forgot to stamp it last week. So, I'll take it out now that I know that you've all seen it. When Ron Wagner applied for that liquor license, the Highway 12 liquor is the place, his sales tax did not match the name of the business. And so we have to start over to re-advertise it and hold the hearing again.
At whose cost?
Well, I jokingly said it'd be another 40,000, but they laughed at me.
No, the advertising.
Advertising is the county cost.
And that's gonna be,
Probably less than $100.
You give us 40 grand, so I think we can do it. Move it.
Second.
That's second. Highway 12 liquor, that sounds good, don't it? Pick up your liquor on the highway.
Motion by Fishback, second by Sutton, to set hearing date for alcohol liquor license for Highway 12 liquor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Fair contract, to rent the Eagles.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Kifley, second by Sutton, to approve fair contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Approve and authorize the chair sign the Midco agreement for the South Fire Station.
Move it.
second.
Moved by Fishback, second by Hanson, to approve and authorize the chair to sign the Midco agreement for the South Fire Station. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Lease agreement.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kifley, to approve lease agreement. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I think Roberta wanted to come and visit.
I'm here.
You don't just listen in for fun, right?
Jean's here too. He wanted to talk, yeah. I would like to request an executive session to discuss an employee.
Personnel. I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kifley, to go into executive personnel. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are in exec. We are out of exec. For personnel, no action taken. I guess one of the things we'll do now is I'll call the South Dakota Department of Labor,
Stay retired.
state retirement, find out about their ruling on their 20 hours.
You need to inform them when they answer. You are being processed.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you call somebody and they say this could be used for training purposes.
Yeah. I think so.
Well, good morning, how are you today? Well, just fine. Say, could I speak to somebody in regards to some regulations on the South Dakota retirement involving the hours people work? Aberdeen, this is Doug with the Brown County Commission. The hours involved with South Dakota retirement when they qualify, how many hours they can work a week? Okay, thank you.
What date are you on now? Is that Friday?
I think on the Smith type.
Oh, yeah.
On here, Palm Pilot.
Vice Chair and Speaker.
Tell her, put you on speaker.
Michelle, this is Doug with the Brown County Commission. How are you today? Say, we have a question. Is it all right if I put you on speaker? We're at a commission meeting right now. We have some general questions for you. Okay?
Don't hang up yet.
Can you hear us, Michelle?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Okay, Michelle, our question is on the South Dakota retirement with part-time employees and permanent part-time. When do they become eligible for South Dakota retirement? You know, I realize 20 hours is kind of the magic number. Is that correct? Can you walk us through that?
Yes, so the law says 20 hours, but ultimately the law gives the employer the leeway to make that decision. Let me find the law here for you real quick. Basically what the law says is that we say that permanent full-time employees or somebody who is placed in that classification, and we give a guideline of 20 hours or more a week, or at least 6 months out of the year. But then the last line of the law states that the participating unit shall decide if an employee is a permanent full-time employee, and that decision is conclusive. And the reason we put that out there is because there are some of those smaller counties, per se, that maybe have employees that they don't offer any type of benefit until they're 30 hours a week. You know, and that's their minimum. So that becomes their minimum threshold, not the 20 that we suggest, but the 30 that they adhere to.
Okay, so we have part-time employees that go occasionally over the 20 hours. Let's say they do that 10 weeks out of the 52.
Yeah, no
That
big
doesn't
deal.
necessarily mean they qualify for South Dakota retirement.
No.
Okay, so that's kind of left wide open. They could actually probably, if the commission deems them not qualified for South Dakota retirement, they could actually work 40 hours, 40 20-hour weeks, over 20 hours, and they still don't need to qualify.
Right, yes,
So we are kind of the determining factor there,
you are.
okay?
So the one caveat I have on that is, of course, you and I both know that when it comes to an audit, they'll say, well, this person was consistently working 40 or more hours a week for the 52 weeks out of the year. They should have been a qualifying employee. But we also have, you also, say that, well, I have a temporary position that I'm filling, and that temporary position lasted a year. That is the right of the employer to make that distinction.
Okay, so now that you've clarified that, let me ask you this. If we have a highway employee, which you're seasonal, and they're working over 40 hours a week for 6 months, do they have to qualify for South Dakota retirement?
No, because remember there's that, and at least 6 months a year. So if you have a seasonal employee who works just that 40 hours for that 6 months,
Okay,
then you're good.
well,
And you guys have the law, I'm assuming, so you can refer to that?
I guess I can't answer that right up front, but
I can give you the law number if you'd like.
Sure, that'd be great.
Okay, so it's 3-12-47, subset 65.
Okay. Any other questions from the commission for Michelle?
I think that answers it.
Yes, thank you.
Well,
Absolutely.
you've been very helpful, Michelle. We appreciate your time and your promptness on answering those questions for us.
Absolutely. Thanks for giving us a call. Have a good day.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that clarified a lot.
Yes, it did.
You don't have to give it to anybody.
We could
Yeah,
set
I
policy
just scribbled
up
it
for
down
50
there.
hours.
So with that being said, I think we make that motion where I had block it at the 19 and a half, or we had talked about doing that. We don't have to do that anymore. We just do the
We can give them all
4 hours. Did we?
And that clarifies it easy with the with the South Dakota retirement now, if that's kind of the way they state it. That gives us a little room to be more flexible in our decision as far as writing that plan out.
I think we should give those part-time 4 hours.
I'm fine with that.
Now, I guess, let's play the other side of this. So we're gonna give somebody that works 12 hours that week, 4 hours?
Yep.
See what I want to say is
I know.
where you draw that line at as far as that, or do you go back to if they work 10 hours out of the 20, do you give them 2 hours? I mean, how complicated do you want to get that thing?
That's why I thought it would just be easy to...
Well, and the other thing is, I don't know if I agree that somebody only works 8 hours gets 4 hours, and the guy that works 19 only gets 4 hours.
No.
See, there's that discrepancy on that end, so I guess...
I think there's a Bible verse on that.
Would you quote that for us?
That's Sunday school.
Oh, I think that it'd be nice to be giving some, still get some numbers, so we know what we're doing.
Got the same pay.
If it's only one person.
So what do we do for a holiday next Monday? That's the question we have right now. We have a holiday coming up for Monday.
I think you give that 4 hours, if we were talking about. I mean, we'd have to eliminate that 20, the hour and a half and the...
If they're scheduled to work for 15 or more, give them 4. If they're scheduled to work for less than 15, give them 2.
Well, we kind of put some kind of guideline in. I mean, that would help a little. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't believe that somebody that works 7 hours that week gets 4 hours, and the guy that's working 19 gets 4 hours.
Correct.
It seems a little odd that you're gonna,
you put the line at 10 or 12, or
well, maybe 10 isn't a bad line to use.
if you're working 10, you get 2, if
Two.
you're working more than 10, you get 4.
Does that,
Does that complicate things, or is that pretty?
That would help.
As long as we stick with
At
it.
least we'd have some format.
That would make sense, I think.
You should probably have these kind of discussions during your department head meetings.
It's too late now, or...
Too late now.
Oh, we got one coming up soon, don't we?
November.
Oh, yeah.
but I think we need to address it now because we got a holiday coming up.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be clarified from when it was done on September 4th, I think.
So do we have to amend, change a motion there?
Yeah, what do we have, Max?
Revise policy E12.
Go ahead.
So what are your thoughts? Is everybody kind of on that same page now?
Yeah.
We know that 20 hours doesn't affect our South Dakota retirement?
Yep.
So who made that motion?
What's the cleanest way, in your opinion? Is it, you're 10 and under, you get 2, 10 and above, you get 4 hours for the holiday?
It works.
You're the policy makers, so.
No matter what you do, it seems like it's never fair.
Well, it seems like that would be kind of a general, like you're covering the ones that don't work that many
People right on
hours.
the line won't be fair, but everybody else would be.
And the reason,
So it's gotta be a
the
line
thing it would
somewhere.
do is right now, for instance, Judy in the maintenance, she prorates everybody different, so it gets to be a hassle for the entry of Sundial.
Right.
Where if you just had an either or, I mean, it's pretty specific then. I mean, it'd be a lot cleaner to do it that way than one guy getting 3.5, and this guy getting 2.5, and this guy getting 4 hours.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's kind of where we're
Yeah.
at right now.
Okay, I'll amend my motion to read that.
So it's 10 and under is 2, over 10 is 4.
Right.
Okay. And then we can talk about it at the next department head meeting.
Yeah.
It's not like we've never changed policy.
Really?
Or follow it.
Okay. I second it.
We have an amendment to the
Amendment to the
policy manual for the vacation on part-time. We have a second by Kipley. All in favor?
Aye.
Effective today, or immediately.
Our meeting day, because we got a holiday coming up.
Effective today. Until further discussion at department head. And I'm sure we'll hear.
Gary, do you have anything else for us?
Nope, that's all I had.
Max, do you have anything else? Anything else before the commission?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Fishback to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.